If you're listening to this episode, then it means that this is your first time listening to the Emerge Leadership Connection. And I'd just like to say, welcome to our community, where we are dedicated to helping you obtain better results in your life faster so that you can emerge and become who you were meant to be. I'm excited to have you here with us and excited to tell you exactly what this podcast is designed to do and how it is designed to do it so that you can see the vision you have for yourself become reality. I'm also excited because you being here right now is helping me obtain my own dreams. That's right, we may have never met, but you are a part of my dream for the future, and I need your help to bring it to life. When I look at the world today, I see a lot of people who are disheartened, who want to accomplish great things which have the potential to create a better future for generations to come, and yet they are not moving towards those dreams. They think their dreams are crazy, that they could never make it a reality, that they don't have what it takes to make it happen, that they themselves aren't worth anything. This may be you right now, or someone you know, but I think those thoughts are a travesty, and I want to see this change. I believe that you have dreams that are worth pursuing and can be accomplished. I believe that you have the talent and ability to achieve your amazing dreams. I think that you are worth far more than you will ever realize. I believe that you are an absolutely amazing individual that has a lot to give the world. And I believe that together, we will be able to make your dreams, as well as the dreams of others, a reality. Now, the conception of this podcast stemmed from a belief and value that is a cornerstone of my own business, and that value is faith. Faith that people have the ability to accomplish extraordinary things, and far more than even they believe is possible. I have this faith in myself, and I also have this faith in you. And because I have this belief, I wanted to design something that would be able to help you on your journey to unlock your potential, a potential that you likely don't even know the extent of at this moment. So the real question is, how do we go about unlocking this potential? How will you be able to emerge and become who you were meant to be? Both of those are fantastic questions, and thank you for asking them. I will get into that in just a minute, but first I want to tell you the challenges that I've encountered in the self-development world that led me to designing the format of this podcast for your best benefit. Now, when I first discovered the self-development world, let's just say that I wasn't sure what to expect. I had a lot of misconceptions of what self-development was designed for, and those misconceptions couldn't have been more wrong. I had gone through my entire educational system, all the way through my bachelor's degree, and I had believed that I had been given all the tools I would ever need to succeed in life. But when I read my first book in the world of self-development, I quickly realized that there was a lot that I had never been shown. And I came to realize that most people in the world, including here in the United States where I live, are highly undereducated in what it takes to succeed in life. And don't get me wrong, I went to what was considered a great elementary, middle, and high school, and I chose to go to a private university afterwards, which did a great job delivering what it was designed to deliver. My education was by all stretches of the imagination exceptional, and I wouldn't be where I am today without it. By the world's standards, I was doing everything perfectly, and I was sure to succeed at the highest levels. But I discovered that I was not nearly as ready for success as I had believed. See, the problem that most of the world faces is that most people have no idea how to truly succeed and continue to give the same advice that they had been given when they were young. The ideas and concepts they were told is what led them to where they are today, and that is the only way they've ever known. And that road is one of mediocrity. It's a concept that I learned about from one of my favorite books, and it keeps people living in a cycle of mediocrity, year after year, generation after generation. And here's another part of the problem. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace. There have been more advancements and discoveries in the past 100 years than the previous 2,000 years combined. This means that what it takes to succeed is changing rapidly. And because it is changing rapidly, we can't rely on anything that was designed for a completely different era. On top of this, let's look at the results of where the world is today. The national savings in the United States is currently around -2%, which means that we are losing more money than we are making. That means that most people have absolutely no savings and will be working until they are dead, with no hopes for retirement. Our Social Security system here in the States was designed for a generation whose average lifespan was 65 years, and today the average lifespan is around 80. And by the time most of us reach that age, with the advancements in technology, it'll be closer to 100. Add in that even though we are in one of the best eras in human existence, where there are more opportunities to succeed and better tools to help us succeed, information is easier to obtain and the worth of the dollar has increased, the average incomes of people have not increased. Why do you believe that is? It's because people are following the same roads that lead to the same mediocrity, blindly hoping it will be providing something better, and it won't. When I discovered this, I was flabbergasted, to say the least. But that led me to asking this question. What is it that the successful do differently that allow them to have major success and live better lives? What is needed for a person to be able to break free of the societal chains that most wear and be able to have a different type of life? What allows them to emerge above the rest and live a meaningful life where they truly make an impact in the world for the better? This led me down a road to learn from the absolute best people I could find and to study from people who are considered masters of their industry and masters of success. I spent tens of thousands of dollars to learn from people like John Maxwell, Darren Hardy, Dan Kennedy, Kevin Harrington, Gary Vaynerchuk, and more, as well as studied the great works that people claim helped them become ultra successful, like the works of Zig Ziglar, Napoleon Hill, Jack Welch, John Wooden, and more. I found a career in business coaching and learned from the best in my field, including Christian Simpson and Christian Mickelson, and went on to work with entrepreneurs and leaders of industries, working with them to obtain better results, create better teams, and reach new levels of success. This journey that I've been on has been amazing. And to watch people grow and see their potential come out has been a fantastic experience that I wouldn't want to change. Though there is still one problem that I discovered within this world of self-development that has plagued many individuals, leaving them to continue living mediocre lives even when they have access to the perfect information to get them out of mediocrity. This plague is something that I work to overcome in my coaching practice at high levels, but was something that I wanted to be able to impact at other levels as well, which is where the conception of this podcast came into existence. I wanted to create a podcast that would not only give you the best information that I could obtain for you, but also impact you at a higher level and would help you actually make real changes that would allow you to reach your true potential. The potential you probably don't know exists, so that you can emerge and become who you were meant to be. So this podcast is designed to impact many different areas of your life, which are required to understand in order to obtain true success in life, including personal development, leadership development, mindfulness, emotional intelligence, consistency, and self-reflection, along with many other topics revolving around personal and team success. And I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of different things you're looking to do with this podcast. And you're right. This is an ambitious project that I'm working on, but one that I firmly believe has the capability of accomplishing if you put this to work in your life. Now, let's start with the obvious. This podcast is designed to help you in your journey of personal development. This means that we are going to work on helping you become a leader, which I believe is the highest form of personal development. Now, before you throw in preconceived ideas of what a leader is, let me give you the simplest and most informative definition of leadership I've ever heard that will help you understand where we're going. My mentor, John Maxwell, gave this definition. Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Simple, right? This means that you don't have to hold a position of CEO or chairman to be a leader. And it also means that if you do hold those titles already, that you aren't necessarily a leader either. It also says that parents, teachers, religious figures, and more are also leaders. A leader is someone who has the ability to influence those around them in a positive manner that allows those people to accomplish more than they could have on their own. Now, this is important to know because any organization or business or team can only be as strong as their leaders. If your business, organization, or team is not accomplishing what you are hoping they will, it means that we need to work on leadership so that you, as well as others who are considered leaders among you, can influence everyone at higher levels to achieve better results. It means simply that everyone, including myself, must become a better leader to create the change we want to see in the world. Now, personal and leadership development, contrary to popular belief, does not just happen automatically. If you are given a position as a leader, it does not mean that you will automatically become influential. We can see a major leadership epidemic in the world today because people hold power without having a positive influence with those they hold power over, and it is leading to civil unrest around the globe. It's something that we need to go about changing in the world, and it starts with you and me right now. We have to make a stand right now and say that we are going to be intentional about becoming better leaders. And here's the best part about taking this stand with me now. The better we become, the better we can help others become as well. This is based off the concept that we can't give what we don't have. If I don't have $1 million, I can't give you $1 million. And in this same way, if we have not developed ourselves into great leaders, then we cannot help others in our lives become great leaders either. On top of this, if you want to continually give to others, and you want to continually help them improve, then you have to be sure that you are continually feeding yourself and growing yourself. If you do not continually grow yourself, then those around you will either stagnate, unable to accomplish more, or will outgrow you and leave you behind, either by going on to bigger and better things, or worse, by joining your biggest competitors. So you want to be certain that you are always continually growing yourself. But the benefits of continual personal growth are greater than that because continual personal growth allows us to truly see how far we can actually go in our lives. See, everyone tends to put limiting beliefs into their lives, and these limiting beliefs are things that we tell ourselves that are either not true or worse, are birthed from the truth and then highly skewed to make us believe things which are not true. These limiting beliefs prevent us from not only obtaining our potential, but also prevent us from believing that it's even possible. It's something that I diligently work with my clients to overcome, and I know that if we work together, we will be able to overcome many of these limiting beliefs that are occurring in your life right now. And as we do this, we will begin to see what is actually attainable. And what is actually attainable is probably much more than you currently believe or can perceive. Now, in the flow of the show, we will be utilizing quotes which I call words of wisdom that provide us many great benefits. They allow us to obtain knowledge from a variety of sources, which gives us multiple perspectives, and those perspectives greatly increase our leadership abilities. By seeing the world from these different perspectives, we are able to help different people in different ways. Everyone approaches the world in different ways, and when we see more perspectives, we can help more people from their perspective. This is a major key in leadership because this leads us to connection, and this connection is an important part of influence. The more perspectives we understand, and the more we apply those perspectives, the greater our influence can become, and the more we will be able to help others. Another great thing with utilizing quotes is that often they contain insights that we don't necessarily see right away. When we take the time and delve into the deeper meanings of these quotes and make connections that are not as obvious, then we begin to increase our curiosity. Now, this may seem odd to you, but curiosity is actually an extremely important part of leadership. Curiosity is a necessity to identify new challenges, to think of possible solutions to those challenges, to make new discoveries, and to design new processes. Without curiosity, we become stagnant. Challenges come forward that we aren't ready for, and in the end, because we cannot discover solutions to these challenges that we didn't see coming, we end up in terrible situations. This is exactly what happened to blockbuster movies. They believed they had an ultimate business and stopped being curious as to what new trends the industry was having, and they stopped being curious as to what challenges their customers were having, and they stopped being curious as to what else they could do in order to bring more value to their customers. This lack of curiosity led them to going out of business. But this does not have to be the same thing that happens in your life. We can take these nuggets of wisdom and discover the process behind curiosity, and with that understanding can reframe it to discover a great number of things in our own lives, helping us overcome challenges, make new discoveries, and more. That leads us perfectly into the next section of the podcast, my personal favorite and the portion that potentially has the ability to create the biggest impact in your life, if you utilize it correctly. It is also a part where the vast majority of leaders are failing in, which is preventing them from becoming a fraction of what they have the capability of becoming. See, I have a vision to coach millions of people so they can achieve greater results in their lives and see them really discover what they are capable of doing. But this vision would be impossible to accomplish if I were to attempt to take everyone on as a personal client. Plus, with personal coaching being a premium service, it inherently has a barrier to entry. Because of this, I had to do something that no one in the coaching industry has attempted to do in order to make this vision a reality. I designed this podcast to provide coaching to anyone who truly wants to improve their life and allow them to have it at the level they are currently able to invest in. If you aren't able to invest in yourself at the highest levels, I completely understand. I've been there myself. My advice is to start where you are able, because the two best investments you can ever make are in yourself and in other people, and this podcast will help you accomplish both. Napoleon Hill's works, especially his book, which is credited to making more millionaires than any other book, Think and Grow Rich, often talks about how self-development works. As you become better, you are able to create more value for those around you. And as you are able to add more value, you will be asked to take on higher roles and responsibilities. It is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is worth every single penny and every single second that you invest in yourself. Some studies even claim that you gain up to 3x return on any investment you make in yourself. Going back to the podcast, I will ask you a coaching question near the middle of every episode, and from there, you will be gifted a period of time on which to think and reflect on that question. This is a major key to success that most leaders do not utilize in their lives. So do not skip this period during the episode. If you skip this period, which is designed for your success, you will potentially be making the largest mistake that you can make. Most leaders fail in their businesses or organizations because they failed to stop and reflect on the important questions they need to face. See, when you don't stop to reflect, you are doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Think of it like the waves of the ocean. In our lives, we need waves to go back and forth in order to function at the highest levels. We need periods of sleep and periods to be awake. We need periods of eating, and we need periods of fasting. We need periods of physical activity and periods of physical rest. But where most leaders fail is in having periods of action and periods of reflection. Too much action without reflection tends to lead to terrible results, just as you see happen when you go days without sleeping or eating. The same occurs when you do not have enough reflection. We end up repeating the same mistakes over and over again. We miss key indicators and opportunities that would have greatly benefited us. We don't see when challenges arise or fires begin until they are out of control. And we take in more and more information that we never actually utilize, which is one of the largest problems, if not the absolute largest problem, that I've seen in the personal development world. By utilizing this small period of time, you will set yourself dramatically ahead of others who fail to use this time. Along with this, the questions themselves are designed to target key aspects of leadership, some which you may have forgotten about and some which you may have never considered before. By taking the time to really consider these questions, you will be working on developing your leadership so you will become more impactful in your life. What will make this particularly advantageous is to frame the coaching questions in a way that allows you to decide on an action that you will take afterwards in order to improve yourself. If you come away with one action item from every single episode, you will find that your life will begin to dramatically improve in many different areas of your life, because leadership impacts every single aspect of your life. If you come to a satisfying answer to the coaching question that allows you to come away with an action item that you know you will accomplish, the last thing you should do is fast forward to the end of the episode. Instead, utilize the remaining period of time in other ways which will help you dramatically improve your life. Here are a few different ways that you could potentially utilize that time beneficially. Start by considering all the things that are going on in your life. Ponder on the good things that have occurred and ask, why have these good things occurred? This exercise is designed to make you analyze your successes so that you can make sure to repeat them in the future. It also has an added benefit of bringing more appreciation into your life. Too often we overlook the good things, but by focusing on them instead, we bring more happiness into our lives. It is like the new car syndrome that we all encounter. When you decide to buy a new car, all of a sudden you see that same car everywhere on the road. It feels like everyone decided to buy the same car as you at the same time. Obviously, that's not what actually happened. What is actually occurring is that you have changed the focus of your mind onto something different, and you then begin to see it more often, even though it has always been there. In the same way, we can bring more happiness into our lives simply by focusing on what is going well and understanding why it is going well in order to repeat it in the future. Now, the second one I would only do in conjunction with the prior one and only after it. But in the same way as the first, you can also ponder on the bad things that have occurred and ask what led to those bad things occurring. By doing this, you begin to understand what not to do so that you don't continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. See, making mistakes is not a bad thing. We're all human and make them at times. It is only bad if we do not take those moments and learn from them. Some of the greatest moments of growth come from understanding what went wrong and making sure they don't happen again. Moving on, another great way to utilize this time is to identify the one absolutely most important task that you have to accomplish that day, or the next day if you listen to this in the evening. This is a focusing question designed to help you identify the most important activity that will put you one small step forward to accomplishing your goals. Also, if you identify this action item, it is important to make sure it actually gets done. If you come to the next episode and find that you didn't actually accomplish this item, you should stop and ask yourself what prevented you from achieving it, especially if it really is the absolute most important task that you could accomplish. Typically, you will find one of two things prevented you from achieving this task. Either you are allowing other unimportant things to prevent you from accomplishing your most important task, which you then need to figure out how to prevent that from happening, or you will discover that what you believed was the most important item to accomplish is actually not the most important item. Sometimes these will even actually go hand in hand. As an example, perhaps you believe your most important task is to prospect, but your cell phone continuously distracts you from prospecting, and you suddenly discover that the most important task to do is to turn your phone notifications off and put it on silent before you begin to prospect. There are many ways that this can play out, but I believe you understand the point. Another thing you can do during this time is to ask yourself what emotions you are currently feeling in your life and allow those emotions to sit with you. You're not trying to get rid of the emotions during this time, and you're not trying to solve the emotion. You are simply looking to understand the emotion and to accept the emotion as it is. Many people fail here because they attempt to push the emotion away. And when they try to do this, they actually end up cementing that emotion into their subconscious mind and make the emotion take further root, even to the point of it creating major devastation in their lives. You can see this in the case of some people with major depression, high anxiety, and high levels of anger. When you attempt to push the emotions away, they cement further in. And it becomes that much more difficult for the emotion to go away in the future. Instead of trying to push it away, you should look to understand the emotion more and to learn from the emotion. When we understand what triggers the emotion, and what our body does and feels when we experience that emotion, we begin to better understand when that emotion is about to occur in our lives. And that allows us to enter into situations with better emotional intelligence. Having emotions is not a bad thing. They are a part of the human experience, and I believe that they should be celebrated as they all have a purpose in our lives that can be beneficial. The only time that emotions become problematic are when we allow them to control us. Instead, we have the ability to use them as an indicator to inform us how we can better respond in the world. But this mastery of emotions only happens when we truly understand the emotion. A final way you can utilize this period of time is to use it in a meditative sort of way. There are many ways to meditate and a variety of methodologies and techniques. Some may work extremely well for you and some may not. You can experiment with the different types that are in existence if you desire, but for the sake of this podcast, I will give you a few things you can try if you'd like that I found beneficial in my own life. You can start by focusing on your body and breathing. You can hyper-focus on how you breathe and choose to breathe in a particular way, or you can simply observe how you're currently breathing at that moment without trying to change it. Then begin to think about what your feet are doing, what your legs are doing, your body, your arms, your neck, and your head. You're not looking to alter what you're doing, just simply observing it. Perhaps you're driving and you feel the slight vibrations from the road enter up through your feet, into your knees, up to your body, and so on. Or perhaps you're laying on the ground and you observe how the sun feels on your skin. This is all about simply observing what's going on with you, not about changing anything. Perhaps a thought enters into your mind during this period. That's all right. The mind tends to wander, and this is bound to happen. Feel free to ask why that thought came into your mind. You can reflect on that thought more deeply, or you can just understand what allowed that thought to come to you, and then allow it to pass naturally. You don't always control the first thought that comes to you, but you do control your responses to that thought. If something negative comes to mind, ask if it's actually true, and then look for examples of where it is not true. This little exercise is designed to improve your self-worth and to create a reflexive response to replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts. If something positive comes to mind, ask if it's true, and what about it could be improved upon still. This exercise is designed to increase your humbleness and to continually look for ways to improve yourself. Even if you are the absolute best in the world, you can discover what it is that has allowed you to become the best, and you can discover what you need to do in order to continue to get better and to remain the best. There are many other ways to practice meditation and many other specialized techniques that you can utilize, but I am not a master of these methodologies. I simply wanted to give you a few different tools you could try to utilize during any extra time that this podcast gives to you, which can benefit you in different ways. Now, there is one more major benefit that this podcast can bring to you, and it is a simple benefit that most people overlook, which is consistency. A wise person once said that the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is the ability to endure the monotony of success. True success comes from doing little things every day. Those little things include having periods of development and reflection every day. which is something that this podcast is designed to give you. There are 3 episodes that come out every week, which are completely free for you to access. Using these 3 episodes every week will give you a great base to have continual movement forward. And it also gives you time to get used to the flow of the podcast and understand how it is designed to benefit your life. But there will be a moment when you want to succeed at higher levels, and this will require you to have daily improvement. To get this in your life, you will want to become an official part of our family. When you do this, you will get access to not 3, but 6 podcasts per week, as well as other amazing benefits depending on the level of membership, including verbal recognitions for helping spectacular causes we support and getting personal one-on-one time with me. I will be honest that there is a small cost to join this membership, but before you freak out, I want you to know that 100% of the cost of the first level of membership is donated to various causes which are all designed to impact future generations in a positive manner, and 50% of all other levels are donated to these same causes. I choose to do this because a large part of my personal life mission is to impact the future for the better. But I can't accomplish this mission alone. I need your help. I need you to step up and become a fantastic leader, a leader that I know you can become, and I need help to be able to support these spectacular causes. What I know is that we often do not take action in our lives unless we are willing to invest in ourselves. So if you want to become a great leader, like I know you have the potential to become, then you need to invest in yourself. I personally have spent tens of thousands of dollars to improve myself, to obtain the absolute best information that I can from individuals like John Maxwell, Darren Hardy, Jeff Woods, Jay Papasan, Zig Ziglar, Kevin Harrington, Dan Kennedy, and more, to give that same spectacular information to you and these podcasts. I would never ask you to invest as much as I have, but I know that the single best investment you can ever make is in yourself, and that investment can spread into the second best investment that you can make, which is in other people. Now, when I say invest in yourself, that doesn't mean put all your life savings into yourself at this second. No. There are many different levels of investment you can make in yourself depending on where you are in your life right now. My lowest membership at $5, which all goes to other causes, will bring a dramatic difference into your life by itself, and honestly would be the only place I'd start with if you're just entering this world. The information here is easily worth 100 times more than what I ask, because my purpose is not to get rich. My purpose is to make sure you have a little skin in the game to drive you to take serious action in becoming the person you were meant to be, to know that you are dedicated to your own success and are actually wanting to create an impact on those around you, while also being able to impact the future through different causes in a way that I would never be able to accomplish on my own. I will also say that the more you invest in yourself, the more I will invest into you. And the more people that we are able to bring to this cause, the more lives we will be able to impact, and the better future we will be able to create, which is the ultimate goal of this podcast. If you choose not to make that investment in yourself, I understand. Perhaps you would like to listen for free to start and want to know more about who I am first. I can understand that completely, and you are more than welcome to reap the wonderful benefits that I give to you for free. I would have done the same thing when I first began my journey. But if you are ready to invest in yourself, even if just a small amount, I invite you to officially join our family. If you would like to, by going to www.emergeleadership.club and then clicking on the Become a Patron button. There, you can see the different levels of membership starting at only $5, which all supports wonderful causes. You can also see the different causes we are currently supporting on our website, as well as how to contact me if you have any questions about the podcast, how to better utilize techniques in your life, or anything else that you need. I am here to serve this community to the best of my abilities because I know that this community will change the world one small step at a time. So, if you would like, go over to www.emergeleadership.club and officially join our family. In any case, I'm excited for you to start your journey. I think you will be surprised at what the future holds for you. I'm your host, Cody Dakota, and I'm honored to have spent this time with you today. My final message for you today, and listen closely. It's time. Wake up your potential. Let go of your fears and anxieties, and let's discover what is possible. Emerge and become who you were meant to be.